taking the precaution of writing English in Martian Old Script, a combination which I'm sure Daddy could puzzle out, only he wouldn't do such a thing unless I invited him to. Daddy is a dear and does not snoopervise me. My brother Clark would pry, but he regards English as a dead language and would never bother his head with Old Script anyhow. Perhaps you have seen a book titled 11 Years Old, The Pre-Adolescent Adjustment Crisis in the Male. I read it, hoping that it would help me to cope with my brother. Clark is just 6, but the 11 years referred to in that title are Terran years because it was written on Earth. If you will apply the conversion factor of 1.8808 to attain real years, you will see that my brother is exactly 11 of those undersized Earth years old. That book did not help me much. It talks about cushioning the transition into the social group, but there is no present indication that Clark ever intends to join the human race. He is more likely to devise a way to blow up the universe just to hear the bang. Since I am responsible for him much of the time, and since he has an IQ of 160 while mine is only 145, you can readily see that I need all the advantage that greater age and maturity can give me. At present, my standing rule with him is, keep your guard up and never offer hostages. Back to me. I'm colonial mongrel in ancestry, but the Swedish part is dominant in my looks, with Polynesian and Asiatic fractions adding no more than a not unpleasing exotic flavor. My legs are long for my height, my waist is 48 centimeters, and my chest is 90. Not all of which is ribcage, I assure you, even though we old colonial families all run to hypertrophied lung development. Some of it is burgeoning secondary sex characteristic. Besides that, my hair is pale blonde and wavy, and I'm pretty. Not beautiful. Praxiteles would not have given me a second look. But real beauty is likely to scare a man off, or else make him quite unmanageable, whereas prettiness, properly handled, is an asset. Up till a couple of years ago, I used to regret not being male, in view of my ambitions. But I at last realized how silly I was being. One might as well wish for wings. As Mother says, one works with available materials. And I found that the materials available were adequate. In fact, I found that I like being female. My hormone balance is okay, and I'm quite well adjusted to the world, and vice versa. I'm smart enough not unnecessarily to show that I am smart. I've got a long upper lip and a short nose, and when I wrinkle my nose and look baffled, a man is usually only too glad to help me, especially if he is about twice my age. There are more ways of computing a ballistic than by counting it on your fingers. That's me, Podkayne Fries, free citizen of Mars, female. Future pilot and someday commander of deep space exploration parties. Watch for me in the news. Mother is twice as good-looking as I am, and much taller than I ever will be. She looks like a Valkyrie about to gallop off into the sky. She holds a system-wide license as a master engineer, heavy construction, surface or freefall, and is entitled to wear both the Hoover Medal with Cluster and the Christiana Order, Knight Commander, for bossing the rebuilding of Deimos and Phobos. But she's more than just the traditional hairy engineer. She has a social presence which she can switch from warmly charming to frostily intimidating at will. She holds honorary degrees galore, and she publishes popular little gems such as design criteria with respect to the effects of radiation on the bonding of pressure-loaded sandwich structures. It is because Mother is often away from home for professional reasons that I am, from time to time, the reluctant custodian of my younger brother. Still, I suppose it is good practice, for how can I ever expect to command my own ship if I can't tame a 6-year-old savage? Mother says that a boss who is forced to part a man's hair with a wrench has failed at some point, so I try to control our junior nihilist without resorting to force. Besides, using force on Clark is very chancy. He masses as much as I do, and he fights dirty. It was the job Mother did on Deimos that accounts for Clark and myself. Mother was determined to meet her construction dates, and Daddy, on leave from Ares U with a Guggenheim grant, was even more frantically determined to save every scrap of the ancient Martian artifacts, no matter how much it delayed construction. This threw them into such intimate and bitter conflict that they got married, and for a while, Mother had babies.